2016. Appointment of Christoph Müller as CEO. On the 6th of April, 2009, CEO Dermot Mannion announced his resignation from the airline after 4 years as chief executive. 58. He was replaced by German-born Christoph Müller, alternative spelling Müller, former head of TUI Travel and Sabena, who joined Aer Lingus on the 1st of October 2009. 59. On the 2nd of December, 2009, Aer Lingus announced that talks with its unions had broken down. As a result, the board voted to reduce capacity, and with it associated jobs, as a response. According to Müller, concessions offered by unions were of a short-term nature, and the airline was asked for high compensation in return. Aer Lingus did not identify the routes or jobs to be cut, but they would most likely commence immediately and will be compulsory according to Müller. 60. As of April 2010, all employees groups had passed votes on the acceptance of the Greenfield cost-cutting plans, which were expected to save €57 million annually. Once he implemented, the second phase of cost-cutting was to commence, which aimed to save €40 million annually by adjusting back-office staff numbers by up to 40%. According to the CEO. Müller indicated that Aer Lingus intended to reposition itself again, moving away from head-to-head competition with Ryanair in the low-cost sector to a more hybrid model with a stronger emphasis on service. As part of this move, Aer Lingus entered talks to join an airline alliance again, having left oneworld in 2007. 61. Aer Lingus announced on the 15th of June, 2010 that it would suspend services from Shannon to Boston and New York, JFK, for 11 weeks beginning January 2011. 62. 75th anniversary. Aer Lingus celebrated its 75th anniversary in 2011. On the 26th of March, the company presented its latest aircraft, which has been painted in the 1960s livery, and the crew was wearing a selection of historical uniforms. 63. Third Ryanair takeover bid, 2012. On the 19th of June, 2012, Ryanair announced its intention to launch another bid to take over Aer Lingus, at €1.30 per share, for a total of €694 million. 64. Ryanair expressed the hope that the competition authorities would not block this attempt, pointing to the recent takeovers of BMI and Brussels Airlines by International Airlines Group, IAG, parent company of Iberia and British Airways, and Lufthansa, respectively. 65. On the 20th of June, 2012, Aer Lingus issued a press release stating that, having reviewed Ryanair's proposed offer, the company board rejected it and advised the company's shareholders not to take any action concerning it. Their statement pointed out that any offer from Ryanair was unlikely to be capable of completion due to, firstly, the EU Commission's 2007 decision to block the airline's bid for Aer Lingus at the time, and, secondly, the UK Competition Commission's ongoing investigation of Ryanair's minority stake in Aer Lingus. Furthermore, the press release stated that the Aer Lingus board believed that Ryanair's offer undervalued Aer Lingus, considering the airline's profitability and balance sheet, including cash reserves over €1 billion, as of 31 March, 2012. 66. On the 27th of February, 2013, the European Commission blocked the third attempt by Ryanair to take over Aer Lingus, stating that the merger would have damaged consumers' choice and resulted in increased fares. 67. Virgin Atlantic wet lease agreement. In December 2012, following the acquisition of British Midland International by British Airways, Virgin Atlantic was awarded slots to fly domestic routes in the UK from Heathrow Airport, ending the monopoly on the services that BA had held since its successful takeover. Aer Lingus supplied on a wet lease agreement for Airbus A320-214 aircraft, painted in Virgin's colours but under Irish registration, 29, as well as crew 4. These services, which operated from London Heathrow to Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Manchester. Services began on the 31st of March, 2013 to Manchester. 68. This wet lease agreement ended in September 2015, as Virgin Atlantic cancelled its domestic services. 69. Long-haul expansion. In July 2013, expansion into North America was announced, launching in 2014, including a direct service from Dublin to San Francisco 5 times weekly and a daily service from Dublin to Toronto to be operated by air contractors with Boeing 757s on behalf of the airline. It was also announced that transatlantic services from Shannon to Boston and New York would operate daily all year round from January 2014 to Boston and from March 2014 to New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport. However, the airline would lease Boeing 757 aircraft from air contractors to operate these routes, rather than using its Airbus A330 aircraft as it had done before. 70. Also, the service to Washington Dulles Airport resumed the 1st of May 2015, with 4 flights weekly. 71. On the 24th of March 2021, Aer Lingus announced the launch of new long-haul routes to New York JFK and Boston from Manchester Airport, using its A321LR airliners. 72. Change of CEO. On the 18th of July 2014, Aer Lingus said it had been agreed between the company and Mueller that he would step down as CEO and director in May 2015. Mueller left to join Malaysia Airlines as part of its restructuring exercise. 59. On the 16th of February 2015, the company announced that the new CEO and director would be Stephen Kavanagh, beginning the 1st of March 2015. 73. As of the 1st of January 2019, Sean Doyle became the new Aer Lingus CEO. 74. IAG takeover, 2014/2015. On the 14th of December 2014, International Airlines Group, IAG, owner of British Airways, Iberia and Vueling, launched a €1 billion takeover bid, €2.30 per share, for Aer Lingus Group plc. The Aer Lingus board rejected the offer on the 16th of December 2014, with Aer Lingus commenting that the offer was preliminary, highly conditional and non-binding. It was further noted, the board has reviewed the proposal and believes that it fundamentally undervalues Aer Lingus and its attractive prospects. Accordingly, the proposal was rejected. 75. On the 9th of January 2015, Aer Lingus rejected a second bid from IAG, proposing a €2.40 per share takeover. 76. On the 24th of January 2015, IAG launched a third bid for Aer Lingus, proposing a €2.55 per share takeover offer totaling close to €1.4 billion. 77. On the 27th of January 2015, Aer Lingus board announced that the financial terms of IAG's third proposal for the airline are at a level it is willing to recommend. Aer Lingus said it noted IAG's intentions regarding the future of the company, in particular, that Aer Lingus would operate as a separate business with its own brand, management and operations. 78. On the 26th of May 2015, the Irish government agreed to the sale of its 25% shareholding to IAG, with the takeover now dependent on Ryanair's position on the matter. 7. On the 10th of July 2015, Ryanair voted to sell its nearly 30% stake in the airline. The takeover was later approved by the EU and US regulators subject to IAG giving up 5 slot pairs at London Gatwick Airport. 79. On the 2nd of September, 2015, IAG assumed control of Aer Lingus. 10. On the 17th of September, 2015, following completion of the acquisition by IAG, the company's shares were withdrawn from the Irish Stock Exchange and the London Stock Exchange. 2020s. On the 25th of February, 2020, Aer Lingus noted it had been advised by the Department of Foreign Affairs that travel restrictions were being placed on several Italian towns within Italy's Lombardy region as a result of an outbreak of COVID-19 there. 80. However, stated all flights would continue to operate. 80. Further advising of flights operated would continue to comply with guidelines locally from the HSE as well as from the WHO DASA. 80. An Aer Lingus Airbus A330-300 in Beijing, China during late March 2020 retrieving PPE for Ireland's HSE. 81. On the 28th of February, Aer Lingus had been informed that a passenger had travelled with COVID-19 on a service from Milan Linate to Dublin. 82. And that it was cooperating fully with the HSE and Department for Foreign Affairs. 80. 4 Aer Lingus cabin crew were also placed into self-isolation from the flight in question. 82. Following day, Aer Lingus announced flight suspensions to northern Italy. 83. Subsequently extending this on the 10th of March to all services to Italy. 84. On the 13th of March, Donald Trump, the President of the United States, announced a European travel ban which initially exempted Ireland. 85. However, this was extended to cover Ireland the following day. 86. Aer Lingus subsequently announced network-wide reductions. 87. Which eventually saw its network of flights reduced by 95%. 88. The airline's plan for its biggest summer schedule within its history was scuppered as a result of what became a global pandemic. 89. In a temporary measure, the airline confirmed it was cutting hours and salaries for all employees by 50%. 90. Later that month, on the 29th of March, Aer Lingus flight EI 9019 from Beijing, China touched down at Dublin Airport carrying vital PPE for Ireland's health service workers. It marked the start of hundreds of flights the carrier was expected to operate to from China on request of the government. 91. With just 5% of scheduled flights operating, it was announced on the 1st of May, 2020 that Aer Lingus was seeking 900 job cuts. 92. The airline subsequently entered into talks with trade unions about changes to work practices and proposed job cuts. 93. Aer Lingus CEO Sean Doyle commented that it would take years for the aviation industry to recover. 93. Aer Lingus later confirmed it was seeking further temporary pay cuts and changes to work practices in a cost-saving exercise. 94. Advising that its 2021 schedule would be at least 20% lower than planned. 94. Job cuts were confirmed later that month. Those holding temporary contracts were made redundant. 95. And cabin crew based in Shannon were informed that they would be temporarily laid off as the airline was not operating services from there. 96. On the 13th of June, media reporting indicated broad acceptance of proposed measures based on a final draft document between Aer Lingus and trade unions. 97. However, the following day the union force representing over 1,400 Aer Lingus cabin crew advised of its intention to ballot members. 98. The airline stated on the 15th of June that if acceptance was not agreed by 6 p.m. that evening, it would withdraw its offer and implement them unilaterally with a 70% cut to employees' wages excluding pilots. 99. As the deadline passed, airline initiated the action to implement the changes, angering trade unions representing the majority of Aer Lingus employees. 99. On the 17th of June, the airline agreed to allow a ballot for up to 2 weeks for its pilots for changes to work practices and recovery of salaries. 100. In June 2021, the airline said it wanted to freeze workers' pay for 5 years while it is proposing sharp cuts in rates paid to new cabin and crew staff. 101. Corporate affairs. Ownership and structure. Aer Lingus was listed on the Irish and London stock exchanges, under ticker EIL1 on the Irish Stock Exchange and ticker AERL on the London Stock Exchange. 102. However, it was delisted on 17 September 2015 following its majority acquisition by IAG. Shareholdings, as of the 2nd of September 2015, are SAD Smiley 10. Shareholder shares interest International Airlines Group 98.05%, other investors 1.95%, total 534,040,090,100.00%. Aer Lingus Cargo. Aer Lingus Cargo is the airline's cargo division. It uses reserved areas of passenger aircraft cargo holds. Aer Lingus Cargo is available on all routes to the US from Dublin and Shannon. Cargo services are also offered on most European routes and some routes to the UK. The division subsequently rebranded as IAG Cargo. 103. Aer Lingus Regional. Aer Lingus had a franchise agreement with Irish regional airline Stobart Air, formerly Air Aran, under which Stobart Air operated several routes under the Aer Lingus regional brand, livery and flight code. 104. Stobart Air had not operated any flights under its own recode since April 2012, and all its routes were transferred to Aer Lingus with flight numbers in the EI3XXX range. Stobart Air was placed into liquidation in June 2021. Aer Lingus and BA City Flyers stepped in to operate the routes on a temporary basis. 105. Aer Lingus regional flights have been operated by Emerald Airlines on a franchise basis since 17 March 2022. 106. Business trends. Following its acquisition by IAG on the 18th of August 2015, separate annual reports are no longer published for Aer Lingus. However, some data are shown separately within the IAG annual report. Key available trends for Aer Lingus over recent years are shown below, as at year ending the 31st of December. 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Turnover, EUR 1,2841, 3,571, 2,051, 2,151, 2,881, 3,931, 4,251, 5,571, 7,181, 7,661, 8,592,020. Operating profit, after exceptional items, EUR 43.8-108.413023226930. Profit before tax, EUR 105.8-95.9-154.8-13.037.240.439.6-111.5135226. Net profit, EUR 105.3-107.8-130.143.934.1-95.8118205. Number of employees, average FTE 9.3,4913, 5,663, 6,153,766. Number of passengers, M. 9.310.010.49.39.59.79.69.810.110.410.9